You ready? Okay. Good afternoon, and welcome to the Judiciary and License Committee for the City of Marshfield for Tuesday, April 16, 2024. We have first order of business, citizen comments. Seeing no citizens in the audience, the staff doesn't count. We'll move on to the consent agenda, the approval of the April 2nd, 2024 minutes. They're in your packet. What's your wishes?
So moved.
Motion by Brian, second by Rebecca. Discussion, if none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, so carried. Okay, next up is the consent agenda. And on the consent agenda tonight, we have applications for temporary Class B retailer's license for one, Marshfield Sandlot Baseball, Marshfield Baseball Classic, June 7th through 9th, 2024, and June 14 through 16, 2024 at Jack Hackman Field. Also, Marshfield Post 54, American Legion Baseball season, various dates at Jack Hackman Field. Do we know how many of those there are?
There are 13 combination of dates for the baseball season. Some of those are weekends, some of those are standalone dates.
So 13 includes all the Legion ball? Okay.
Correct.
All right, that concludes what's on the consent agenda. What's your wish?
Move to approve.
Barstow, second by Spiros. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, is so carried. Disallowance of claim for Penn National Insurance. I take it this is yours.
Yes, there was an email in your packet from the insurance company explaining why they're asking for that to be disallowed. That's just by statute, which speeds up the timelines on the disallowance. So if you have any questions, I can give more detail, but.
What would the city be liable for?
The city is not.
We're not, right?
We are not liable.
This is just the pro forma for, do we have to make a rejection memo?
We do have a memo that I will send out of disallowance to the claimant, which in this case is an insurance company.
Okay, but we don't have to vote right now.
I do need you to approve the disallowance.
And so Ms. Spiros jumps right in and helps out. Thank you for helping the cause, Ms. Spiros. Second by Robert Varsho. Discussion?
None.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Okay, review and discuss proposed changes to Chapter 9 of the Marshfield Municipal Code, license and permit. City Attorney, are you taking that or who? Who's got it?
There really only was one change.
Right, on page 50 of your revised ordinance, or I'm sorry, the revised chapter, you'll see where that begins. The city attorney cleaned up the language on city sanctioned event. We had a definition in there before and he just tightened that up a little bit. And then added in section 5A on the hours of operation, just to make that exception for vendors who are operating as part of a city sanctioned event. So the fairground specifically was discussed, Pub City Days, some of those other events, so that they would not have to necessarily end at 11. Or yeah, at 11
Say that's on
PM.
page 51?
On page 50.
Page 50.
And it should be highlighted for you, hopefully in yellow. Here, I had a new package.
It's right at the
Right
top
above
of that. It technically starts at page 9.
Okay.
It didn't highlight. Just the things that changed from the last.
Okay, I've got it. I've got it here too.
Highlighted in yellow.
Okay. Okay. There you go. Okay.
So I mean, the intent was a basic question of what happened.
Would you get a little closer to the mic, please? Or bring it closer
Right,
to
I don't
you?
even have it on. The intent was to try to make sure that we had covered those things so you don't have to go and get some kind of, that they would have to shut down at 11 if an event went past 11. And so by creating a definition for city-sanctioned event that sort of identifies that it'll be one that is permitted by the city or is with written permission. There's different ways that those things come about. So we think we've caught them with that language, meaning those things that, we have exceptions to allow past 11, and then incorporating that into section 5, which basically gives us an exception when they're being part of participating in one of the city sanctioned events, then they can go past 11. So I think that covers the issue that we were talking about, which is, are we going to shut somebody down in the middle of an event?
Yeah, and just as follow up, yeah, I actually watched the thing, and I seen that was like the biggest thing we were concerned about. The parish pools go till 2 a.m. Does the vendor act close 11? So I think that you're right. This kind of cleans this up because it just means that they have a permit. So as long as
right, and to be clear about that, what it is if the event has a permit,
right, it falls under
if they're participating, that's it. Yep.
So you don't want any changes or anything recommended to it?
So
Or you want to ask for it?
if everyone is okay with what we have before us tonight, I would be looking for a recommendation to move this forward to council as an ordinance so that we can get this changed in municipal code. But if you have more questions or discussion, now's the time, please.
I'll make a motion to move forward.
I'll second.
Motion made and seconded to move it forward to the common council. And discussion? Just one thing, how do you feel about this? You feel comfortable with this stuff and some of the, we tried to segregate for ourselves when we went through this the first time. Major changes and things that we should look at. Is there anything we're overlooking in here that you think we need to talk about?
I think the major changes you talked about already, anything that you would actually have any sort of control over, because the other changes that are in here that we haven't specifically discussed were state driven. They're part of chapter 125, and we really have no choice but to adopt those changes. So I think we've gone through it extensively at staff
it doesn't disturb
level.
the way that we look at 125.
No, we're just making sure that we are in place, that we are adopting everything in 125 and 134 with all of the Department of Revenue changes that are coming forward right now. Some of those go into effect even May 1. We're just making sure we have everything the state has adopted, that we are catching that as well.
Okay, and Mr. Attorney, standing before a judge, are you comfortable with what you see here?
Wow. Did you see how he asked that? I mean, I could be on this for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
You guys want?
Well,
So
you
first of
already
all,
got us for 1 hour. We're going to get you for all of it.
Jessica is accurate in that many of these changes are driven by statute. So you have discretion to do something else. That's even questionable. We want to incorporate this in. So it's not something that is worthy of discussion. The one item that we talked about, which was, of course, the food vending, that is something that was up to your discretion. However we wanted to handle it. You could have completely disallowed it if you chose. So, I mean, to me, that's it. I have comments throughout this thing for various issues that I, identified or addressed. So when you ask me, can I stand in front of a judge and say that, there's an awful lot that's incorporated in here on my comments that I could be here forever talking about that. However, this was presented to you by staff in consultation with me to approve and move forward, and I think that's the best way to say it. While there might be some things that could be up for argument, I don't think it's worth holding this up on those grounds. I think we move forward.
Okay. Anybody? Russ?
As an alternate, I would just like to, again, thank the city clerk and city attorney for the heavy lifting and all the work that went into this. I won't tell you how old the city clerk was when we last updated this, but she was a young toddler.
Okay.
So thank you very much. It'll last a long time. Well done. Thank you.
Okay. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor of moving this on to council, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Okay. What else we got? That's it.
Future agenda?
Items.
Let's see. Oh, okay, future agenda items, anybody?
I'm good.
App, nothing?
I don't even get to make that
Police department
decision.
got off real quiet, they're getting off real quiet these days.
I don't
okay.
get to make that decision.
Having heard no further business to bring before the committee, I will declare it adjourned, thank you.